as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning, everyone. Whoa. My thing is on the wrong setting. I did a restart last night. I should have known better. You guys know me. I should have known better. I should have known better. There we go. I've had a pretty decent morning. I can't complain. We've got Hellhound here. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Take a little bit for people to get in here. I'm a little bit early. That's okay. But I've got things planned for today. I do have things planned. I do want to show this. We have an artist rendering of what my haters would possibly look like. So yeah, this is what an artist thinks my haters look like. That right there, just blue hair, annoying, unfuckable. That's what an artist thinks my haters would look like. The only thing I would say is make it a little bit older. They're being very kind here. Make it older and add a septum ring. Oh, they were really mad yesterday. They were so mad. They just hate that I can respond. They were very upset. Their panties were in a bunch, as they say. They were what are the sand was in the vag. Too funny. Too funny. That's interesting. Hold on one second, guys. I'm seeing something. Hold on just one quick second. Things might screw up for a second. Are we back? Okay. It looks like we're back. Okay. Now I'm starting to see the analytics come in. Because it was telling me that there was no people watching. But I'm seeing comments. Like I see Greg of Scotland, which oh my it's restream is all screwed up this morning. It is all screwed up for sure. Let me see if there's something I can do to fix it. I just did a refresh. So let me Oh, come on, come on. Okay. So I'm not seeing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out the chat. So then I still have all your guys' comments and everything. I'll just put it over here. Oh, we have more than that. I am seeing the analytics. We do have more than that. But yeah, it's just being a little bit weird for me. Like Restream's telling me no one's watching, and I was just on X. I know people are watching there. I mean, you guys are commenting, so it's just a problem with Restream this morning. Something with the API is messed up. It happens. It does happen. But that's okay. So we'll get into see. You know what? I bet you it's a YouTube problem. Good morning, Ruth. Because I had the analytics and then they crapped out. So I think it's a YouTube issue this morning. That's okay. I can see your comments, which is really the most important things that I want is to be able to see those. Well, now I can see them on the thing. It is acting so weird. There we go. Okay. Oh, it'll figure it out. Good morning, pre-girl. Hi. So, yeah, I've got some videos. We'll react to them. The important stuff is all here. Okay. Make sure you guys let me know that you can hear this. Just say I can hear it.
Of a guy who went down to the U.S. border from Canada and was shocked Pikachu face when he was turned around because they didn't want him to come in and protest. Yesterday was the No Kings rallies in the United States. There was all kinds of rioting, destruction of federal property, fights with cops. It's all over X. You can go see it. But this elbows up clown went down to the border and thought that he could just waltz in there.
Kevin Larson's DNA is now in the hands of the U.S. government. On October 18th, the Kincardine native was heading to a No Kings rally in Port Huron when he was pulled over for a random check at the U.S. border crossing. What happened next shocked him.
They took my picture, took my fingerprints.
Canadians really... Okay, thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that. Canadians really do care about what happens here. And what's funny is I don't know of one American that really gives a shit what's happening up there. Like, we might talk about stuff, but like no one really cares. We don't. Hey, good morning, Dennis.
And about 2 3/4 hours in, they said, we're not going to allow you entry. But first you have to give a DNA sample. I said no twice. I sat down, and then a supervisor took me to a private room, read me the riot act and the law.
They took him to another room because you don't have the right to say no. You're already on U.S. soil. You already came willingly. You are not a U.S. citizen. So the Supreme Court has said, hey, if you are here and not in a legal status, meaning you don't have a visa and you're not a resident, you don't get the you're not of the people, because the Constitution talks about the people several times, and those are the rights. The rights are only afforded to the people, and you are not the people. So, yeah, they can take your DNA.
And said, I can be charged, and if found guilty, it could be up to 1 year in prison.
When you go across the border to the United States, you're no longer in Canada. You're not in Kansas anymore. Well, you're heading there. They can do all kinds of things. They can arrest you. They can seize your property. They can go through your property. They can take samples of your body. They have a lot of power, and they're not designed to be friendly. They're designed to keep the country safe. They're the border guards. You're heading to the United States to protest.
I did say yes because I had heard that if you push back at the border, you can end up with a 5-year ban on going to the States. And
why would this elbows up guy want to even go to the States? I thought.
Yeah, and that's true. 5 years, they can say, yeah, you can't come here for 5 years. Yeah, and this commentator's making the same point. I
guy want to even go to the States. I thought they hate the States.
I have a cousin in Georgia that we visit regularly, so
like half of these bozos, they have a summer home in Texas. They're wintering in Florida, but elbows up.
Larson has no criminal background and says he was carrying nothing but a Canadian flag to the No Kings rally in Port Huron. 3,000 such rallies were held last year across the U.S.
At the very end, I talked to the main officers dealing with. So I said, cut to the chase. What's the main reason I'm not being allowed admission? And he said it was the purpose of your visit, sir.
You're going to a foreign country to protest. Visiting another country is not a right, it's a privilege. They don't have to let you in. They don't have to let you come in and cause civil unrest in their country. They don't. In fact, you could argue that they'd be irresponsible if they did.
As people found out earlier, well, actually last year, that even if you're here on a legal status, while you are afforded the rights. Those rights do come with limitation, meaning we do not have to keep you here. Yeah, you have the right to say whatever you want when you're here in a legal status, but we can also say, you know what, we're rescinding your visa. We can absolutely do that.
So he's showing his vehicle there. I wonder if this is the vehicle he went with, where all I had was a Canadian flag. Yeah, these are the type of people who live in our country with us. And this story, just for the record, is from, I believe, last year, but it's relevant because there was another No Kings Day just.
Okay. So not a bad story there. But yeah, some of these people, just the entitlement, thinking that you have a right to come here. No, you don't. You don't. But I don't mind seeing that story, even though it's old, because I didn't see it at the time, and I'm sure that same scenario played out again. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna do something here. Pull that over there. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just doing some in-house maintenance. All right.
On this lady that tried to set me up to be wrong on purpose. I walk up to the table and I say, hi guys, good afternoon. Can I get y'all started off with any beverages? And I go around the entire table asking all three individuals what they would like to do.
Now, I have not watched this full video. I did watch like the first 30 seconds or so. And I wanted to highlight this video. I worked as a waiter for several years. And I think especially when you're a young person, I think that's a really good way to learn our economy, a really good way to learn about customer service. I also think it's a really good way to learn about the people of this country. And Yeah, like there are some people who like just treat service workers horribly. I'll say that. Now, here's the thing. I'm starting to go into the if I'm ordering standing up, I'm not paying a tip. I'm starting to like all these places that want tips. Yeah, no, no. If if I'm standing up when I order, you're not getting a tip.
Drink. They go, water, water. She goes, water, kids' milk. And I said, oh, kids' milk? Okay, got it. She didn't make eye contact with me. She didn't repeat the order back to me, which I always do. Every time I take a drink
Very
order
smart.
or a food order, I repeat everything back, always, on purpose. And the reason why she whispered her drink order and that weird ass phrase that she said was so that she could create confusion later.
There are people that do this, that try to scam. E- And this is I was very big with Trump when he proposed the no tax on tips because most of most of your wait staff, okay? You have to understand why we have tipping here in the United States. It's so that our food prices don't have wild fluctuations. So that, the cost of the what I'll say of the people serving and doing most of the work, then it falls more on the consumer and what the consumer feels comfortable with. And if you've ever done any type of bulk food buying at like a farmer's or like the fish markets and stuff like that, where a lot of restaurants do their day to day buying, you can see those prices fluctuate wildly. So that's why we have a tipping culture here is to keep our food prices stable so that restaurants aren't uh, having to constantly change the prices of their menus every single day. Um, so that's why we do it. And there are some people who take advantage of our wait staffs and try to save money off of their backs. And the thing is, especially waitress, that is by far the biggest industry that a single mother without with only a high school education, that is the biggest form of employment that they find in this country. And it's not even like number 2 is not even close. Not even close. So, uh, you hear all these people talk about, single moms and whatnot. That's primarily who you're screwing over. Almost every woman I worked with, probably 90% of them when I was a waiter, all single moms. All single moms.
And by doing this, this sets up a subtle trap to where later when I come back to the table, she can whisper to somebody or say something to somebody at the table and go, I didn't ask for that.
Yeah, yeah. And this woman, she's not rich. She is not rich. A lot of the people who do this are those people who complain about billionaires. But this is a waitress who's not rich. And yeah, she's trying to create a a plausible deniability scenario. Hey, Cinder, welcome. Good morning.
She's wrong. She took my
Morning,
order
Paul.
wrong. That's not what I said, right? It gives her and that archetypal energy that sense of moral superiority and a sense
Yeah.
of control.
Yeah.
So instead of correcting me directly, which is healthy behavior, she stayed silent when I repeated it back to her.
Passive aggressiveness. What do I always talk about on here? I talk about passive aggressiveness. You see it with my haters every single day. Eh, I'm active aggressive. The military taught me to be active aggressive, and if that makes me an asshole, that's okay. I'll take it. But this is where people say you attack me type of thing. And this woman, this waitress, is being active aggressive by the repeating back the order. She's ensuring the order's correct.
And so when I came back to the table with 3 waters and a kid's milk, she goes within earshot to the other guy at the table, I didn't order that. Yeah, you did. So this is classic indirect communication, a need for an audience, and a major lack of accountability. And so because I didn't collapse, because I didn't shrink, because I embody a secure nervous system,
Because she is active aggressive and the woman's being passive aggressive. I guarantee I would not be surprised if all of my haters played out this exact same scenario.
and she decided to say, "Oh, I didn't order that." I said, "Oh, you did, but it's okay. I'll take it back. No worries." And so I took it off the table, came back to their food order, and everybody was ready at the table. I said, "Is everybody ready to order?" Everybody goes, "Yep." And of course, she stayed silent. So I take the lady's order on the right. She was ready to go. The guy was ready to go. It was his birthday. And then she goes, "Kids meal?" So because I stayed calm, neutral, I didn't fawn, I didn't shrink, that triggered her and totally and completely
Yep.
destabilized her. So
Yep.
she switched to more overt hostility,
Right.
a sharper tone.
And here's the thing, like, if you're an adult and you're ordering kids meals, like, you're just cheap and you can't afford to eat out. That's all that's all this boils down to. This woman is cheap. She wants a free or discounted meal. Just don't stop going out to eat. Stay home, make yourself a nice meal. You know, like, stop harassing wait staff. Stop it.
And just flat out irritation because her original script didn't work on me.
Yeah.
So after she went, "Kids meal," I went, "Oh, you want a kids menu? Okay, yeah, let me go get you one. I'll be right back." You should ask for one. But I
I
want to
like
go
this
into the
woman.
core reason of why she originally didn't ask for a kids menu. Number one is she wanted to do control through confusion.
Yep.
If she would have clearly asked me up front, there would have been no mistake to leverage later on. She needed to create ambiguity and
Yep.
this gotcha moment. And that's how this archetype feeds off of energy. This archetypal energy also fears direct expression because they associate that with rejection and sometimes even shame as well. And so they'll either hint at things, they whisper really quietly, or they'll test certain things. And so because deep down subconsciously, they don't feel safe asking directly for what they want, they will just refuse to flat out say things in general, right? Instead of just saying it,
100%
just being
true.
direct, you know? There's also this subconscious power play game that they like to play. So there's like this quiet satisfaction of, I knew what I said, but they didn't catch it. And so in their minds, they believe that they one-upped you. And the last core part of this is this victim loop, and more specifically, a victim identity loop. So because she wasn't clear about what she wanted,
Right.
she now gets to step into, "Oh, well, they messed up. They misheard me." Even though she engineered the entire situation. And so
Listen,
because
I'm
I
a
refused to
manipulator,
play
Zach.
her games with her, because I refused to validate her distortion, and because I came at her with calmness, safety, secure energy, and accountability, her nervous system perceived me as a threat. And so what does she do? Somebody like that, they come back at you with an attitude. And what's crazy is the table that was sitting behind them actually ended up paying for that table, which I'm sure was because it was that guy's birthday. And so the men paid for their entire meal. And so I walked up to them and I said, "Hey, just so you guys know, the men behind you actually ended up paying for the meal." And the woman, the older woman, goes, "Oh my gosh, really? Like, who did it? Like, thank you so much." And I told the guy, I was like, "Happy birthday. Like, what a great birthday present. Like, good for you, you know?" And he was so happy. And the archetype, the saboteur archetype that we're talking about, her face and her energy was like this the whole time.
She was upset because she couldn't take advantage of it.
Just dead silence, ungrateful energy, like, and I just sat there and I thought to myself, like, those two deserve to have their food paid for, but you didn't. You deserve to pay for your food because you suck. So if anybody in your family, anybody in your world, anybody in your friendship group, your coworkers, your job, anywhere where you have basic human interactions, the archetypal energy that this is called is something that I call the covert saboteur with a victim overlay. Beware of these people. So, the sole lesson of dealing with a covert saboteur archetype is they are here to initiate you into unshakable self-trust.
Mhm.
The lesson here is, I know what I experienced even when you try to twist it. It is maintaining neutral, clean boundaries. So not reacting and being like, "Oh, you fucking bitch, fuck you," right? It's,
And people like this hate being called out. Like when you say no, I repeated it back to you. Like when you do stuff like that, they hate it. They lose their shit.
Yeah, no worries. We could just take that off the table. Oh, okay, you did say that, but that's fine. Boundary without escalation. This is another important one that has just been so like deep for me and really important for me is not playing the role that they assign you. And the sole lesson here is not accepting identities that people try to place onto you. You do not accept assigned identities. You know exactly who you are. Period, full stop. You
Morning,
stay in your
Linda.
self-led authority and you maintain your own inner clarity. Do not let these people confuse you out of reality.
Yeah. Be active aggressive, especially to passive aggressive people. They hate it. They lose their shit over it. And they just don't know how to deal. They're used to dealing with so many other people in our society are passive aggressive, and they call it being polite. It's not polite. It's not polite. Um, what it is it's a doorway. It's a doorway for people to use. And if you're active aggressive, you're slamming that door shut and you're saying you're not coming out this way. You got to go up. You got to go up through the main way. And they do not like it.
And the last key soul lesson here is staying regulated in the micro distortions. Can you stay grounded in the subtle discomfort that archetype creates? Can you hold your own reality?
And this is why, if you guys have watched me for a while, you know, I don't want, when something happens, I don't want your freaking apology. Like, wipe your ass with your apology. I don't want your apology. If you're wrong and you acknowledge you're wrong, fine. But most times the apology is not an acknowledgement of being right or wrong. Most times it's them just trying to end the situation. Like when those people say, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way." That's not an apology. That is not an apology at all. So I never want an apology. Like when people are like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry you feel that way." Well, I don't want your fucking apology. I don't. I don't care. And they hate that. They lose it over that. All right, I'm trying to get I think I got to change the batteries in my mouse. But I really like that girl. I really like that. I'm gonna save this video. I'm probably gonna follow her on TikTok because yeah, active aggressive people. And trust me, I grew up in a very passive aggressive family. Very passive aggressive. And I am now not passive aggressive. So I am the jerk of the family. Like I'm the one that when people need something done, they come to me because they know I'll get it done. But I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to be like, this is screwed up because of this, this, and this. And I have an ex that, you know, I was in a relationship with who used to do those same things. Uh, who used to like do kind of that same behavior, used to order certain ways where it was like, and I used to be like, why are you doing that? Why am I doing what? Why are you ordering that way? Because you know it's likely going to get screwed up. And when it does, do not ask me to be the one to send it back. Guess what? It would get screwed up. Will you send this back for me? No. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And she was like, why? And I'm like, because I don't want them to spit in my food. And she was like, they don't do that. I was like, oh, okay. Have you ever worked in a restaurant? No. I was like, well, I'm telling you, I have. There are people who will do that. If you are rude to them and you do what you just did, there are people who will do that. I don't agree with it. I never did. When I did see it, I reported it. But I don't want to ever roll those dice. Like when I have had any type of complaint, I'm very apologetic. I'm very polite to the people. I let them know, hey, I get it. Mistakes happen. I'm just asking, just please correct it for me and we'll be fine. And, but that's not how people like that act. It's, this is wrong. I hated it when I worked with people like that, or when I had to serve people like that.
Fake wedding invitations, calls to friends and family, and a protest.
I didn't watch this. Who's the next governor of California? We'll know in the jungle primary. Once the primary, you'll know who's going to win the general election. I did not watch this story. I watched about 10 seconds, and when I heard fake wedding invitation, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this story for whatever it is. So I have no clue.
Outside where she worked. An Indiana bride tells CBS News Chicago investigator Tara Molina a Chicago hotel workers union has driven her to file police reports all over one line in her wedding website. Tara Molina joins us from the newsroom. And Tara, you learned that she's not alone in this.
Yeah, that's right, Marissa. I'm told at least one other bride is dealing with this too. What Lauren Johnson calls constant harassment for months, all while trying to plan her July wedding. Johnson says all of this started back in November when she listed a hotel in South Bend as a place her guests could stay.
I have to plan everything in advance.
Lauren Johnson is ready for her July wedding in South Bend, Indiana.
So I have my dress, I have the venue, I have the food, I have the DJ.
What she wasn't ready for.
They started calling my personal number, and then they started calling my friends and then their workplace as well.
Johnson says the Unite Here Local 1 union, representing hospitality workers and based here in Chicago, got a hold of her wedding website, where at one point she'd posted the DoubleTree Hotel as a place guests could stay.
I just recommended it on my wedding website because it was one of the closest hotels.
Lauren says the union centered their boycott of that hotel around her, despite no contract, no room block. Just a couple lines on a website.
I thought it was a scam because I was like, this can't be real. Like, why are they like trying to get me to boycott a hotel that I'm not like involved with?
But it didn't end with phone calls to her and the friends and family she'd mentioned on the site. Take a look at your screen. She says union members stood outside of where she works with this sign, handing out these flyers with her name on them.
I was shaking, I was scared, I was confused, like actually traumatized. Because,
Johnson says her manager sent her home and she filed this police report, but it still wasn't enough. Shortly after, she filed another police report because she says her friends and family started receiving these fake wedding invitations. Quote, "Say I don't" to this union boycotted hotel.
Basically mocking my wedding.
Johnson says she removed the hotel from her website months ago. You can see that here. And she sent the union a cease and desist last month. Now speaking out, hoping to put an end to all of this for her and others.
I just feel like this is over harassment. I feel like it's stalking in some type of way.
And she just wants to get back to what's supposed to be a happy time for her.
I just want them to stop.
To be clear, Lauren has no association with the union or the hotel they're boycotting, she says. I've made several attempts to reach the Local 1 union today, including with an email outlining exactly what Lauren described to me. They haven't responded, but Lauren says she did receive a response to her cease and desist via email this afternoon. The DoubleTree Hotel hasn't issued any formal statement response. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Tara Molina, CBS News Chicago, investigators.
Tara, thank you.
I mean, unions suck and they behave very badly. I don't know why people would be shocked about that. Just take your business elsewhere. You can post about how much they suck or how much the union sucks. I would be taking it to DoubleTree corporate though. That I would definitely be doing. Because yeah, they want to play games. Okay. All right. Again, this one here is another one I have not seen. So let's get into it.
Bitch, tell me fucking why. I just got out of the gym for my workout. Still out of fucking breath. And I'm just on my fucking phone in the
You're out of breath from the walk from the gym?
car. And tell me why I literally just see a fucking story. Well, it's 2 TikToks. One of this girl being like, oh, I don't give a fuck about being commando at the fucking gym. And then tell me another couple videos later, I fucking see this guy telling me, not telling me, but telling a story on TikTok, being like, I thought I had pink eye one time, but it actually turns out he went to the doctor, got it checked. It turned out to be fucking chlamydia that he had in his eye, dude. And the reason why he got chlamydia is because he even told his doctor, he's like, oh, dude, well, I haven't had sex in like 3 or 4 months. He's like, oh, well, you look like you're a pretty buff dude. Do you happen to go to the gym? And he was like, yeah. And the doctor was like, so what could have happened is that you were working out at the gym, someone was sweating on the seat, you threw your towel on the seat, you get that towel, whoever had chlamydia sat down, had their fucking shit all over the seat, he gets his towel, wipes his face with it.
That can happen. That can happen. This is why you wipe down gym equipment.
Literally a new fucking fear unlocked. I was like, bitch, I just started my fucking fitness journey, but I'm like, another thing to get scared about? I'm like, I'm gonna get chlamydia from working out at my fucking gym?
No, you can get chlamydia from dirty gym equipment. And here's the thing, like, this is why they have those little bottles. This is why they tell you every time you're done with a machine, spray it and wipe them down. I spray and wipe them down before I get on them. Before I get on them, I've done that for years. So I mean, yeah, that's what they recommend because people are gross. People are fucking gross. You think chlamydia is the worst thing you can get? Oh no, you can get shit that never goes away. Like, yeah, there's stuff that I remember. Well, it's a gross story. I'm not going to tell that story. Okay. This is another one. Women who want to do like this, they want single girl energy. Okay.
How would you feel about me going with Jeanette on a girls trip?
I think you already know the answer.
What?
You know what?
No.
You can absolutely, if you want to go ahead.
Okay. Would you be mad if I went on a trip? Would you be mad about it?
I wouldn't be mad. I would be very indifferent.
What do you mean?
This is what women hate the most, is that men will be indifferent.
By indifferent?
Indifferent.
What's the problem? What would be the problem?
I would invite you to no longer be in the current state of our marriage.
Okay. What would be the...
Listen, if you want to go on girls trips and do that stuff, then you should be single.
What?
That's what I'm saying. You should be single. If you want to do single be single. If you want to be married, be married.
What would be the problem with me going on a girls trip if it was just females?
What do you mean? Just females doing what?
Going on a girls trip.
To do what? What are you females going to do on a girls trip?
Like unwind, hang out,
what does
like
unwind
spend
mean?
time with each other?
Unwind how?
I don't know.
What would that entail?
I don't know.
Would it entail going out?
So again, we get back to passive aggressive and active aggressive behavior. She's being very passive aggressive. She knows the answers to all this stuff. But yet she's still trying to look for any type of loophole. And yeah, he's showing indifference. Like, hey, if you want to be married, you're gonna stay here and be in a relationship. You want to be single and do single girl shit, I'm not gonna stop you. And she would say he's controlling, but you notice he's not saying, "Oh no, I'm you cannot go." He's not saying that. He's saying, if you want to go, you go, but you're making a choice.
Dancing, partying, drinking.
No.
Come on, dude. Like, if you want to be single, be single.
Amazing.
You can have this thing.
Stop.
You have this thing.
Stop. I'm not really going on a girls trip.
That is frame right there. That's frame. You can do whatever you want, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to put up with it. That's the mindset that you need to have. You can do whatever you want, but that's not something that my wife does. That's not something that my girlfriend does. My wife doesn't do that. So again, if she really wants to go, just let her go.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control them, bro. You can't control them.
Women today have a problem because men will be like, okay, I don't need to be in a relationship. I don't need this. I'll do this, but I don't need this. All right, here's another one. This one was posted as nobody hates women more than other women. It's pretty good Pretty powerful statement.
With my mother. Hello. Hola. Mom, why do you think I am still a single woman in my mid-30s?
Because all young men are trash and you're perfect. Is that a good answer?
So you don't think I have any flaws whatsoever?
Zero.
And I'm beautiful?
You're
stunning,
beautiful, smart. I mean, I don't understand. What else are you? Generous? Generous. Generous. But brilliant. You have a job. Make money. What else do you have? You're good.
Guys don't care. If you're a woman, guys do not give a shit if you have a good job and make money. They don't. It is not going to, it's not going to increase your attractiveness. In fact, it will probably take away. It'll probably take away because you're going to use that to hold over a guy's head. Guys don't hold money over women's heads. They only do when there's a divorce type of thing. But like when you're in the relationship, most guys don't. And if you have a guy that does, you don't have a guy. You don't have a man. You have a boy.
What else do you have? You're good, decent body.
So, I mean, I would expect a parent to say those things. If it were a girlfriend saying those things, I'd be like, oh, this girl is setting you up. Potentially, Greg. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of smugness. I really don't. Because I mean, it kind of shows confidence. And if you're confident, most likely you are confident for a reason. Like you've had some success, you know. So I don't really like in a lot of smugness. Yeah, complete turn off. I will say, like, if you're in your 30s and you're single, you've got red flags. You have red flags. And if no one's telling you that, like I wouldn't expect your parents to tell you that. But if no one else is telling you, oh, here's your red flags, then yeah, then you're not doing anything about it. You're seeking out yes men, and yeah, you're looking to be lied to.
That I was seeing, and I'm so bummed because it was so good. Like, it was so good. But I had to choose myself. I felt like I deserved more, and I knew that if I wanted to build a future with this person, that I deserved more, and I'm sad about it.
Okay, so this is a woman who ended a relationship because she felt she deserved more. Okay. You have the right to do that. You do. But just because you think you deserve more doesn't mean that you do. So just keep that in mind. So don't come back later complaining that you're single.
I'm sad about it. I had to grieve a little because I'm like, oh. I found this particular situation hard because, like, he was a genuinely good person, treated me amazingly.
Honestly, the truth is, most women don't even think their relationships through themselves. They typically take their friends' opinions of their spouse or their boyfriend or something
100%.
and let them decide what they do. I mean, she's just saying the same thing that a lot of women say, which is she settled and she needs to find something better. But where does it end? Because you can always get...
No one, ladies, no one will sabotage your relationship faster than your girlfriends. And trust me, if you have a good guy, those girlfriends will try to take your good guy. They won't think about it at all. Men, they'll try to sleep with your wife or girlfriend. Your friends, yeah, you'll have those who try to sleep, but they're not going to try to steal them. They just want to have a good time and then throw them back to you.
Somebody better. There's always going to be somebody better looking, nicer, But at some point, you gotta just commit.
You have a boyfriend, you should be embarrassed. That's the article that came out, that if you have a boyfriend, it is now officially embarrassing. And I could not agree more. You know why? Not for
This woman, like, thinks she's, I can already tell, she thinks she's better looking than what she actually is. Just by her attitude, the way she's carrying herself. And it's pretty cringe.
the reason the article says, I did not read the article, but for my own reasons, and I've been saying it from day dot, from time one, from time immemorial, when dinosaurs...
Didn't the article says this? I didn't read it. Oh my God. Already this woman is an idiot.
I have a pretty good guess why she agrees with it. I mean, typically women, when they can't get the men they want to commit to them, yeah, then they'll hate.
This is a good point. Like, women are like, oh, men are afraid of commitment. No. The men that you want to commit to you don't want to commit to you. Will they sleep with you? Absolutely. Like, just because a guy will sleep with you does not mean you're on his level. Does not mean you're in his league. Trust me. I knew so many Marines who would brag about huge women they would sleep with. I remember a guy who was a very good looking guy. Like, women loved him. He looked like Paul Walker. There you go. That's his celebrity lookalike. And he would always leave the bar with a woman. But the thing is, like, sometimes those women were the big ones. And he was doing it because it kept his confidence up. And because he had good confidence, he was able to take women home all the time. Themselves. Yeah, right? Right, Cinder?
Anyone that has a boyfriend and they'll say things like, yes, having a boyfriend is embarrassing.
What is a boyfriend? It is you degrading your status as a woman and a human being.
This woman here, she dates higher value men who then treat her like shit. That's what happens. I remember watching a thing where a woman said, a guy asked me, would you date a guy who's struggling? And she said, no, I wouldn't. And he said to her, well, that's interesting because to me, you're the one who's struggling. Like, which is, yeah. And like, women, when you date up, they're gonna look down upon you. They're probably they're gonna have some power over you. That's part of the relationship. You accepted.
Describe something that is a non-event. It's like saying I've got a friend with a willy, like he's male. Who cares what gender that friend is? He is not a status. He's not a godparent, a husband, a father, an uncle, like a boyfriend, a guy who is your friend and likes to sleep with you, and you need to tell people about that. I'm hopeful that one day he will marry me. Well, tell people he's your husband when he's your husband, and leave it at that. He's my friend.
Hate to break it to you, lady, but before you get a husband, yes, you do have a boyfriend. You don't just meet someone and marry them the next day. Also, degrading your boyfriend into just a friend is not going to get him to commit to you any faster. I mean, right. First of all, men aren't incentivized to get married anymore. There's just not a lot for them in that direction. So if you look at it from his perspective, it makes sense why he wouldn't get married anymore. Just because somebody wrote an article, now you want to just skip boyfriends completely and just leave anyway. So, of course, less men are going to get married. Women are just going to have to be happy with being the girlfriend for most of their life, honestly. Maybe, possibly, not even live with him either. But yeah, just...
The women who think like this woman are happier. It's not even close. Not even close. Like, when you start looking at the data, way happier. Way happier. And that's why you're starting to see this move towards women who now want to be trad wives. So, all right, guys, I'm looking at the time. I'm going to wrap things up with this. I think this was a good show. I didn't get through everything, and that's okay. I don't always have to get through everything. Oh, yeah, there's one I do want to get to, so I'll just save it for tomorrow. yeah, so thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. I had fun. It's always good just to have a good, clean show. Good, clean show. All right. Thank you guys. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.